Busan EFM. The English waves come in.
Busan EFM's Prime News at 6.
North Korea has notified international maritime and telecommunication authorities of its plans for a space rocket launch between February 8th to 25th.
북한이 오는 8일부터 25일 사이에 위성을 발사하겠다고 국제해사기구에 통보했습니다.
The government has vowed to mobilize all means to revive domestic demand and exports in the first quarter.
정부가 내수 부양을 위해 승용차 개별 소비세 인하를 올해 6월까지 연장하기로 했습니다.
The government will strengthen quarantine measures at the country's airports and ports to prevent the spread of the Zika virus to the country.
정부는 지카 바이러스 목재와 묘목 등을 통한 모기 유충의 유입을 막기 위해 수입 동식물에 대한 검역을 강화하기로 했습니다.
A rare case of the Zika virus being transmitted through sex, not a mosquito bite, has been reported in the U.S.
지카 바이러스가 성관계를 통해 전파된 사례가 미국에서 처음으로 보고돼 비상한 관심을 끌고 있습니다.
North Korea has notified international maritime and telecommunication authorities of its plans for a space rocket launch between February 8th and 25th, sparking concerns that it is seeking to test its ballistic missile technologies. Seoul issued a warning saying any liftoff using such technology violates UN resolutions. BeFM's Minji Shin reports.
North Korea has alerted UN agencies of an imminent satellite launch, sparking concerns that it is pushing ahead to test-fire another long-range intercontinental ballistics missile. The North sent a telegram yesterday to the International Maritime Organization saying it would launch a satellite named the Hwang that is designed to monitor the Earth. The telegram also read that the satellite will be launched sometime between February 8th and the 25th in the hours between 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. After a National Security Council meeting on this matter this morning, First Deputy Director Kyoung of the Top Office National Security Office issued a warning against the planned launch.
North Korea must clearly understand that any launch using ballistic missile technologies is in violation of the UN Security Council resolutions, and so it must scrap its launch plans. We warn that the North will face severe consequences from the international community if it pushes ahead with a long-range missile launch, which poses a grave threat to the Korean Peninsula, regional, and world peace and security.
He said that the North's planned missile launch is a direct challenge to the international community, noting that the North's announcement came at a time when the UN Security Council is mulling new sanctions over its recent nuclear test. Meanwhile, in Washington, White House spokesman Josh Earnest called the North's plan a provocation against the international community.
The international community would regard a step like that by the North Koreans as just another irresponsible provocation and a clear violation of their international obligations.
Japan also responded sternly to the latest announcement. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the satellite launch equates to firing a ballistics missile, adding it will collaborate with South Korea and the U.S. to strongly urge the North to deter from firing. The UN Security Council has approved 4 resolutions against North Korea between 2006 and 2013, banning it from testing technologies related to long-range ballistics missiles. For BeFM News, I'm Eric Lee.
북한이 오는 8일부터 25일 사이에 위성을 발사하겠다고 국제해사기구에 통보했습니다. 사실상 장거리 탄도미사일 발사를 예고한 것으로 이달 중순 김정일 생일 전후가 유력해 보입니다. 미국은 탄도미사일 기술 발사체는 안보리 결의 위반이라고 경고했습니다.
The government held a meeting with economy-related ministers today and vowed to mobilize all means to revive domestic demand and exports in the first quarter. The government decided to resume excise tax breaks on automobile purchases until June and retroactively apply the cut to purchases already made this year. With a decrease in excise taxes on vehicles from 5% to 3.5%, buyers of mid-sized cars will be able to save between 300,000 and 500,000 won. The government will also inject an additional 21 trillion won into the struggling economy in the first quarter to boost consumption. The government plans to increase the number of tax refund shops in key department stores and shopping malls in a bid to attract more Chinese customers during the coming Chinese Spring Festival holiday.
정부가 내수를 부양하기 위해 승용차 개별 소비세 인하를 올해 6월까지 연장하고 각종 자금 21조 원을 추가로 공급하기로 했습니다.
The government will strengthen quarantine measures at the country's airports and ports to prevent the spread of the Zika virus to the country. The decision was made during a meeting today among vice ministers of related ministries, led by the head of the Office for Government Policy Coordination, Lee Seok-jun. Measures include monitoring travelers arriving at airports or ports from high-risk countries. If a person shows symptoms of Zika, such as fever, health authorities will conduct epidemiological tests on the person. The government will also fumigate imported plants that are suspected to possibly carry a virus-infected mosquito or its larva. If a Zika case is confirmed, the health institution that discovered it will be required to report the case to authorities. Those who plan to travel to countries affected by the virus will be also given a message of alert containing the code of conduct via their mobile phones.
정부는 오늘 지카 바이러스 국내 유입과 확산을 막기 위한 관계부처 차관회의를 열고 목재와 묘목 등을 통한 모기 유충의 유입을 막기 위해 수입 동식물에 대한 검역을 강화하기로 했다고 밝혔습니다.
In local news, the Busan Metropolitan City Office of Education will receive only half of the expected government subsidies for the Nuri course. BeFM's Minji Shin has more.
The government decided to provide subsidies to only 12 education offices, making up a budget for the Nuri course among 17 metropolitan and provincial offices of education at the cabinet meeting held yesterday. The government has a policy to provide only half of the government subsidies to 6 education offices, which makes a budget that only partially includes Busan among the 12 education offices. With this, Busan Metropolitan Office of Education will receive 10.8 billion won from the government, which will support 950 won per meal for each student in 171 middle schools a day from March. The total number of the beneficiaries is approximately 65,000, with 21,000 exemptions for low-income families. For BeFM News, I'm Minsu Shin.
부산시 교육청이 애초에 예정됐던 누리과정 지원금의 절반인 108억 원을 받게 됐습니다. 정부는 전국 시도교육청 17곳 가운데 누리과정 예산을 일부 편성한 부산 등 6곳은 절반만 주기로 결정했습니다. 이에 따라 3월부터 171개 중학교 1, 2, 3학년 전체 학생에게 하루 950원씩의 급식비가 균등하게 지원됩니다.
An official from the Busan National Quarantine Station said it will strengthen quarantine inspections to prevent the importation of overseas infectious diseases such as the Zika virus, MERS, and the Ebola virus during the Lunar New Year holiday. The quarantine station will operate the emergency quarantine system every day for 24 hours during the holidays. The quarantine station plans to strengthen fever checking against overseas tourists and ships from dangerous countries where the diseases have already broke out and to conduct questionnaires about their physical conditions.
국립부산검역소는 설 연휴 기간 소두증을 유발하는 지카 바이러스와 중동 호흡기 증후군, 에볼라 바이러스 등 해외 감염병의 국내 유입을 막기 위해 검역 조사를 강화한다고 밝혔습니다.
According to the 112 Situation Room of the Busan Metropolitan Police Agency, a surge in domestic violence disputes has been reported during the holidays. 66 domestic violence disputes were reported last year during the Lunar New Year, Seol, and Korean Thanksgiving Day, Chuseok. The number shows a 70% increase compared to the average number of domestic violence disputes reported per day in Busan. Police have advised the public to call for help at 112 in case of domestic violence disputes during the upcoming holidays.
오랜만에 가족과 친지들이 한자리에 모이는 명절에 가정폭력 신고가 급증하는 것으로 나타났습니다. 지난해 설 추석 명절 연휴 기간 112에 접수된 가정폭력 신고는 66건으로 하루 평균 가정폭력 신고 건수와 비교하면 무려 70% 가까이 늘어난 수치입니다. 경찰은 명절 연휴 가정폭력 사건이 발생하면 즉시 112에 신고해달라고 당부했습니다.
The city of Busan has announced that it will remodel 2 popular tourist attractions in Busan, Taejongdae and Yongdusan Park. The city will start remodeling Taejongdae Observatory in June and finish in November. The observatory will be open to public from December. The city will also add more amenities at Yongdusan Park and repair 5 entrance roads to the park with 2.2 billion won.
부산시는 올해부터 태종대와 용두산공원 관광 인프라 확충에 나선다고 밝혔습니다. 오는 6월부터 태종대 전망대 리모델링 공사에 들어가 11월쯤 완공하고 용두산공원도 전망대와 팔각정에 편의시설을 유치하고 22억 원을 들여 공원 진입로 5곳을 재정비합니다.
A home sharing project to simultaneously care for the lonesome seniors and to offer housing for college students will launch in Haeundae-gu. The home sharing project is a generation-fusing residential sharing program that can connect seniors who have spare residential space and college students who are in need of places to live. Haeundae-gu will collect a list of seniors who own a house in Pansongdong and are willing to provide a separate residential space to college students in need of housing. The seniors and students who want to participate in the program can call the Haeundae-gu office or Pansongdong Community Service Center.
노인에게 고독감을 해결하고 대학생에게 주거 공간을 제공하는 홈쉐어링 사업이 부산 해운대구에서 시작됩니다. 해운대구는 반송동에 주택을 소유하고 대학생들에게 독립된 주거 공간을 제공할 수 있는 노인과 주거 공간이 필요한 대학생을 모집합니다.
In sports news, with about 2 years to go until the first Winter Olympics in South Korea, the top local organizer said today the preparation has moved into a new phase. Cho Yang-ho, president of the organizing committee for the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Games, said the eastern resort town and its sub-hosts are well on their way to a successful Olympics. The Pyeongchang Games will start on February 9th, 2018.
2018 평창 동계올림픽 개막이 2년 앞으로 다가온 가운데 오는 6일부터 이틀간 강원도 정선 알파인 경기장에서 첫 테스트 이벤트가 열립니다.
In international news, a rare case of the Zika virus being transmitted through sex, not a mosquito bite, has been reported in the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control has told BBC News that a patient infected in Dallas, Texas, is likely to have been infected by sexual contact. The person had not traveled to infected areas, but the person's partner had returned from Venezuela. Zika is carried by mosquitoes and has been linked to thousands of babies being born with underdeveloped brains.
신생아에 소두증을 유발하는 것으로 알려진 지카 바이러스가 성관계를 통해 전파된 사례가 미국에서 처음으로 보고돼 비상한 관심을 끌고 있습니다.
A U.S. expert on non-proliferation has assessed that the long-range missile North Korea has said it will soon launch was developed based on technological cooperation with Iran. Jeffrey Lewis, director of the East Asia Non-Proliferation Program at the James Martin Center for Non-Proliferation Studies, said the North cooperated with Iran on developing a rocket booster, adding that the booster can be used to launch long-range missiles. He said judging from the movements of vehicles near the North's missile launch pad, there's a high possibility the North is readying a long-range ballistic missile launch. Lewis also said the missile is presumed to be similar in size with the Unha-3 rocket that the North launched in December 2012.
북한이 위성 발사라는 명목 아래 발사하려는 장거리 미사일 로켓이 이란과의 기술 협력으로 나온 산물이라는 분석이 제기됐습니다.
Now for the weather. The weather tomorrow will be mostly clear. The morning low will be 1 in Busan and 0 in Changwon. The highs will be 8 in Busan and 7 in Changwon. Finest levels are normal. It is currently 5 degrees here in Busan.
부산 경남 내일은 대체로 맑겠고 아침 최저 1도, 낮 최고 8도로 예상됩니다. 부산 현재 기온은 5도, 미세먼지 농도는 보통입니다.
It's time to wrap up the news for this hour. Thank you for joining us. Busan EFM's Prime News is delivered by me, Minji Hwang.
김은경이었습니다.
Stay dynamic, Busan.